Hi everyone. Well, today we're going to create a very basic background scenery. We're going to start with the brown, and you may be asking yourself, what is a background painting? Well, you remember how in the last tutorial we did a church and then we created some trees around it? Well, basically a background painting would be everything that surrounds the church, right? So we're using a little bit of brown, green, and I'm going to fade that into some yellow to create a sky. Now the green is going to be some background bushes, trees, some plants in the background. With the white, I'm going to add some highlights. So basically, as you can tell, see, it kind of resembles the light rays coming through the bushes in the background. So basically, you should be able to create a stencil painting, whether it be the wolf or a church or a building of a sort, and then perhaps maybe even a fence. And then you want to create a background painting for it, the plants that's surrounding it. So this tutorial will take care of that. Very basic. As you can tell, I'm using my straight edge to create highlights and dark areas. My handy dandy spraycasso tool. I'm going to go ahead and create a tree trunk here. I've had a lot of emails asking me where I get my spraycasso tools at. There is a similar tool out there that was used for clay shaping. I can no longer find that tool, so we made some modifications to it and we're getting it fabricated. So stay tuned, guys. I'll tell you where you guys can get one of those. And as you can tell, I'm not using very advanced techniques here. Just create a very basic background. The trees, this is maybe an intermediate level technique where I'm scratching the colors. A little bit of yellow, I'm going to create a road. Now remember that when you're doing this, you're bouncing the spray paint off the straight edge. Do not spray it directly onto your painting. Alright. Oh, I got a few drops of spray paint on my painting. You can see it there. That's okay. That can be corrected. We can either cover it up or use a magazine sheet or a sponge and just suck it right up. Now, I'm going to begin creating, just with my little sea sponge here, some green and some yellow, some tree leaves. We're just going to add these on top of the trunks that we created, just like so. Make it pretty random, you don't want to keep it in a pattern. And you want to blend that in with the trees in the background. You don't want to make them stick out too much, so that's why I'm adding a little bit of yellow, green, and I'm just blending it. Okay, now with a little bit of black, I'm going to add some darker areas to these trees. Right, so the black will darken the green as well as the yellow. And so it'll give us the effect that there's some tree leaves back here that are hidden a little bit more. A little bit of orange and brown to create the effect of a rock. And you know what? The cool thing about this is that you can add them in several different places. And if you've been out in similar places like the one that I'm painting here, you'll see that there's actually quite big boulders out there. This unfortunately looks nothing like Carlsbad where I live. It's mostly a Chihuahuan desert atmosphere out here. So since I can't visit places like that, I dream them up and paint them. I hope you guys do the same. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of green, black, and brown, and I'm going to cover that right back up with black. Okay, now this will give us different textures when we add our trees. So with the spraycasso tool here, I'm going to mix the colors that I just sprayed underneath, and that should give you a pretty nice looking bark effect, with the green and a little bit of orange and brown in the dark areas. Of course, if you scratch too hard, you will get a white tree, so you don't want to do that either. You want to do it just enough to where you can see some of the bark, some of the colors. This is clear coat. You guys will see me use this a lot in a lot of my paintings. Clear coat keeps your painting moist, so that you're able to do just exactly what I did right there. Overlap other layers, remove some of the paint, add some highlights to trees. Alright, using the same technique I used on top, I used the same sponge actually, same colors, yellow and green. Just gonna tap here in random places. I'm adding a little bit of black just to kind of fade the trees in a little bit, as well as some of the tree leaves that we just added. And then when you go over it, it'll give you dimension to your painting. You'll have some more brighter tree leaves coming towards you. This is also the same effect that I used to create highlights. So I recommend you try it. This is kind of like the force field technique that I've showed you in my previous videos, and this is what I use to create the effect of light as well, hitting certain patches of leaves, of bushes in this case. You can even add this to rocks. I'm going to use the white on it just a little bit. It is going to take a little bit of practice, guys, like anything else, but I encourage you to try it. Now, using the grass technique, I'm going to come in and just add some patches of grass coming into the road. Now, can you imagine the building in the background? You've covered your building up, whether it be with liquid latex or tape like I did in the last tutorial, and then you create your background scenery, and then you remove either the liquid latex or the tape, and you have yourself a pretty nice painting. Yeah. Look at that. Not very hard, right? I guess the hardest part would be to add a stencil. Or you can just do this type of painting. They're rather quick to do. I'm going to sign my painting a little bit different this time, just to change things up a little bit, And there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please leave me your questions and comments, and I'll get back to you. Thank you for watching. Until next time.